I had been going through a bad separation, and that's how I ended up in the kind of position I was in. At that point, I needed support more than anything, both of the emotional and monetary type. Just ended up being a really difficult experience, the separation, and especially having come from the position of a stay-at-home father, so I didn't have any income or a job or anything.
I kind of had a breakdown. Felt like I betrayed my guys, I wasn't really living up to who I was over all the years, so I just had to step away, right? Everything just unraveled for me.
I applied for many jobs. I believe more than 100 jobs. Most of them ask me, hey, because you have a just work permit visa and you are not permanent residency, we can't hire you.
I wasn't doing too well in life, living on a reservation, being on native welfare. It wasn't good.
I used to work in a 7-Eleven. After the COVID, they closed down the store. I don't have a job. I was living in homeless little while.
I had about a month, roughly, to figure something out. Was obviously sending out my resume left, right, and center. Couldn't get anything. Everything was closed. No one was hiring. I needed a job. I had to eat. I needed a job.
At the time, I was basically looking at it going, I'm a full-grown adult. I'm working my rear end off. And I'm basically one bad day away from being homeless.
When I was going from treatment to second stage, I couldn't even really go to the dentist without shaking and being nervous. I was literally a shell of a man, right? And I just recognized that if I was going to get better, it was going to be a long process.
I remember at one point, I was just walking down the street and just broke into tears, just bawling my eyes out. And this random woman came up to me and asked me if I was okay and offered to buy me a coffee. At that point, I really didn't have a lot of faith in humanity, so having that happen was really nice. It made a bigger difference than you think it would. Just someone showing that people still care.
I literally was in the orientation and she looked at me and goes, I have a job for you. Can you be here tomorrow?
After that, he called me. Hey, Ellie, you can come. We can have an interview. After 2 weeks, he asked me to go to one of the big construction sites.
I just ended up being in Embers, working for them. First started off with general labor, got into skilled labor, working all over the place. And then finally one day I got my elevator ticket.
I took it slowly at first, did 3 days a week, right? And made sure I wasn't gonna let anybody down. Kate from Embers was really happy with me, and so she asked me to keep working for them. I spent a bit of time digging ditches, stuff like that, right? But I got a hoist operator ticket. And when a position for that came along, Kate offered it to me right away, right? And I've been there for almost a year.
When I first walked in, I was a little bit intimidated at first. I just wasn't sure what to expect, but I pretty quickly felt welcomed and realized, figured out how things were going. Finding that work and getting started with that work was just a really big first step for me.
When I actually was interested in getting my hoist ticket, I was a little hesitant about asking, and I brought it up with Doug, and he went, yeah, sure, let's get it done. We'll pay you for the training, and we'll get you started right away. And it just floored my mind to have someone put that investment in me.
For me, work, back then, it was too much of my identity. I didn't have any balance, right? Which was part of my undoing. Knowing now that I have to have balance, I've gotten my identity back.
Embers had motivated me to bring my family and save my money. Right now, I feel better.
I hope to be and work as a Canadian person. I hope to get my permanent residency and after that my passport, and it is my dream.
I'm gonna get myself a vehicle. Then I gotta try and get my motorcycle license so I can get myself a Harley Davidson. So I still got a lot of things to do. And but without Embers, it would be a little more of a struggle.
I have more ability to live my life. I literally went from absolutely petrified of what tomorrow was going to bring to hope. I had hope.
You know, you wake up each day knowing you're going to go contribute something, you know, towards society, and you know, you're building something greater than yourself.
I've met so many people that they just walk into Embers with no idea what they're walking into. They're just looking for a job. And then you go from looking for a job to, you're like, oh, actually, I can make a career out of this.